What is up, my frosty brethren? My name is Arctic. Today is Thursday, and that means we have some Gears of War 4 discussion going on. Today I want to talk about matchmaking. Man, oh man, I feel like I've talked about matchmaking so much over the course of the last maybe 4 or 5 years across Gears of War 3 or other titles, Titanfall, Halo, all these titles have talked about matchmaking because I think shooters, more so than a lot of other games, really rely on a great matchmaking experience in order to have a good time. And Gears of War hasn't really gotten it right over the course of the last few games. I think that now that they're kind of buddy-buddy, Black Tusk is basically working under or with or whatever you want to, under Microsoft's umbrella with 343, who had a lot of focus on matchmaking for their Halo 5 multiplayer beta. I think Black Tusk is going to have some opportunities to rub some ideas off each other, maybe even come out with some similar feature sets in terms of ranks and divisions and stuff when it comes to matchmaking, which is, I think, is important because I think the more factors that you can kind of throw on a player to determine how good they are and where they stack rank against other players and putting them in the proper experience is important on many levels. Now, that being said, I think there's also a time when those players don't care. Just put me in a match as fast as possible. I just want to relax and have fun. I'm not trying to go hard all the time. I think there's a very clear separation between those two mindsets, and they probably need different environments for sure. That being said, I had a previous discussion about playlist structure, and I feel like there's a common consensus that we don't want 30 playlists on a game that could potentially, by the 6th or 8th or 9th or year into it mark, not have the same type of population that's going to fill out 30 different playlists, and therefore just a lot of that is just filler. Also, you have to think about the DLC stuff with that, but that's a different discussion. But I have mentioned that in the past, and that definitely plays into where you can matchmake. Now, the two types of players that I feel like I want to distinguish between is the person that really doesn't care about matchmaking at all and the person that does. And for all the people that do, I want to even further classify that as the players that have pre-made teams. Now, there's a Hype Festation playlist on Gears of War 3 currently, and I feel like that playlist, now don't get me wrong, you can go in there as a solo, but I feel like that playlist should be specifically catered towards pre-made teams, 4v4s, and I feel like there needs to be an environment for that specific type of player, the one that is on a team. Now, whether or not Black Tusk decides to implement a system or clan system in the game so that players can actually have official matches and that can be stat tracked and maybe in a playlist or something like that, that's yet to be seen. But I feel like that would also create an even better scenario for matchmaking when it comes to options for those types of players, because those are going to be the ones that are going to be the loudest about the matchmaking experience. On top of that, I think the bottom end of those players also have a tough time kind of saying, yeah, this matchmaking needs work because they're getting slaughtered, right? So I think that it's kind of a twofold. The players that know that they're too good and they shouldn't be playing in a they're ranked 99 or whatever, and they're playing with somebody that's ranked like 3. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Or they're a gold or a silver or a platinum, and they're playing a bronze player or an unranked player. That doesn't quite make sense. So I think there's definitely some room for improvement across the board. I would hope that Gears of War 4 follows 343's path with at least thinking about and trying to implement some type of divisions or ranking system that makes a lot more sense and doesn't just rely on Microsoft's True Skill ranking system, which has not been very good for a very, very, very long time, if ever. And I feel like, again, they're right next to each other. So it almost makes sense that these things would be at least on the table for discussion. So I'm really interested to hear what you guys have to say about matchmaking. I would like a much more improved experience, whether it be statistically tracking a lot of different things, assists, kills, points per match, whatever it may be, in order to pit those people against each other, or offering separate playlists for teams or people that want to play Hype Festation settings or something like that. I think that's important. So let me know your thoughts, and until the next time, folks, I will catch you all later. Stay frosty. Well, you're here, made it this far. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. I really appreciate it. I think all of my brethren would appreciate it. Leave a like. Help spread the word. Subscribe if you've not already. And we have a lovely video right there. Check that on out.